UFC 327, Procházka versus Ulberg, going down on the 12th of April in the Gastelum Center in Miami. I'm just going to jump straight into this, and I don't know if this is the new Paramount thing, but it's not sorted by like prelims and early prelims and main card. It's just one list. So I don't know why that is. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, first fight on the card, Kelvin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque, and this is a middleweight bout actually, which is interesting. I've got Kelvin Gastelum by a 30-27 decision. First of all, I don't think the fact that it's a middleweight bout is good for Vicente Luque. I don't think he's a particularly big welterweight. He's not that tall. He's not that rangy. Obviously, it will be good for his chin. It'll be nice not doing that weight cut. But, yeah, other than that, he's really not going to be a big middleweight. Neither is Kelvin, but although Kelvin is fat, I think he is just someone with like a kind of a barrel body naturally. Like he is just like, he's just built like that. He could definitely cut more, and he ought to fight at welterweight, but, you know. Second thing I'd say, Kelvin's got a really, really good chin, in my opinion. He's fought Joe Pyfer. He's also fought Cannonier. He went to a decision with both of them. Joe Pyfer did knock him down briefly, like a flash knockdown. But, you know, that's a recent fight. And I believe that was a 5-rounder. So, is it a 5-rounder? No, it wasn't. It was a 3-rounder. But you know, I think that's a green flag in terms of his chin in recent times. Luque's not known for crazy power, and again, he's a welterweight, and we're talking about Joe Pyfer, who's a big middleweight who hits hard. Vicente Luque has lost 5 out of his last 7 fights, and he also got submitted by Kevin Holland, which I think is really quite bad, because I feel like Vicente Luque is kind of known for jiu-jitsu being he's not a specialist, but it's meant to be one of his better things. I don't know if that seems to be the case in my opinion. I think he's got a bit of quit in him as well. I think Kelvin's more in the game. He's more competitive in modern MMA. But by modern MMA, a better term would be recently. Recently, he's been doing better. Kelvin Gastelum did get submitted by Sean Brady, but I think Sean Brady's a phenomenal grappler, especially jiu-jitsu. And, I mean, if you look at what Brady did to, like, Leon Edwards, who I know he's fallen off a little bit, but he's actually got pretty good defensive jiu-jitsu. And he remained fairly safe most of the time against Leon Edwards. No, and what was it? Belal Muhammad. Obviously, Bilal's more of a wrestler, more of a chain wrestler, I guess you call him, than a jiu-jitsu guy. But I think it's still important to consider. Yeah. Next fight on the card, Tatiana Suarez versus Loopy Godinez. I'm very sexist, so I'm not going to look at this fight. So on to the next one. Next fight on the card, Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. I'm going to go with Randy Brown by a 29-28 decision. I feel like this pick is not very logical. I think these guys have quite a few common opponents. Actually, I think Luque TKO'd Randy Brown, and Kevin Holland submitted him. They've also both fought Jack Della Maddalena, and Randy Brown got submitted by him, and Kevin Holland went to a decision. My pick's not making too much sense. The reason I think Randy Brown's going to win is because I think Kevin Holland is quite a lazy fighter. He's lazy. And he's also about to lose almost all of his usually very big reach advantage that he has against most fighters. These guys are the same height, both very lanky welterweights. Kevin's got an unbelievable reach welterweight, but Randy Brown's is still pretty pretty damn big. If you watch Randy Brown against Jack Della Maddalena, I think he's looking decent in the striking, and he almost gets a bit kind of arrogant, and then, you know, Jack's very good and starts to hurt him. But it's kind of not a surprise, but, you know, yeah, he gets a bit cocky, and perhaps if he was a bit more disciplined, he might have gone to a decision with him. Kevin Holland's got a very good chin. I'm not worried about him getting finished or anything like that, and I think he's got better jiu-jitsu, so if he was going to get finished, it would be on the feet. So basically, I just see Randy Brown being a better boxer and hitting him more than Kevin Holland hits him. Yeah, I don't think Kevin Holland takes his career very seriously, which is fine. Like, you know, each to their own. But yeah, in this fight, I'm picking Randy Brown by a decision. Maybe Kevin Holland will take a round, but I could see this being 30-27 as well, to be honest. Yeah, that's about it. Next fight on the card, Mateusz Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovics. I'm going to go with Mateusz Gamrot by a dominant 30-27 decision. Ribovics is a fairly young fighter. I think he's about 29. He's been looking pretty good. He's got good boxing. He's quite aggressive. I need more proof of him defending against a high-level wrestler. Gamrot's got very good wrestling. He's competed against the best in the division. He did just lose to Charles. I think Charles is amazing at the moment. He's kind of had a second prime where he's sort of swapped out his speed, a bit of his speed, for more offensive wrestling. I know those things are not mutually exclusive, but he's not as fast reaction-wise, but his he used to just be a jiu-jitsu guy, whereas now he's just grabbing people, he's picking them up. It's very impressive. So yeah, no shame in that. I think a lot of people agree that he shouldn't have beat Arman. But the fact that it even went to a decision, like, and it was a very close fight, I think is pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean, unanimous decision loss against Dariush. And Hooker as well. So, you know, some of these guys are beating him, but he's very clearly that kind of second rung of the division below the elites, the Arman. I think Arman would beat him now, clearly. Charles, Holloway, etc. Those kind of top 3, top 4, top 5 fighters. He's one rung below them. Also, I usually don't read that far into fighters bringing in someone for a camp, but when Dustin Poirier fought Benoit Saint-Denis, Benoit took him down like almost at will, and he did jump the ghillie a lot, so that's worth considering. But still, he took him down quite easily. And then when he fought Islam Makhachev, his takedown defense was a lot better. And obviously, I think most people would agree that Islam Makhachev is a better grappler than Benoit Saint-Denis. So I know Dustin brought in Gamrot for that camp, and I actually think that had quite a big effect. I really rate Gamrot's offensive wrestling, his chain wrestling, his scrambles, and I can't in ignorance bet on Esteban to deal with that. I think he's probably a slightly better striker than Gamrot, but even that, Esteban had a war, that really good fight with Daniel Zellhuber, and Daniel Zellhuber just fought a very old Bobby Green and got TKO'd. I feel like Zellhuber could have done more, and I think part of his loss was kind of mental. He looked quite scared, but having a war with those two guys, now seeing now seeing Daniel Zellhuber, who had a close fight with Ribovics, lose to a high-level striker in Bobby Green, who's not even in the top 15 anymore. I don't know, man. Like, even the thing that I would be expecting Esteban to dominate in, if he was going to win this fight, I don't know. It's not even that high level, in my opinion. So, Yeah, I'm going with Gamrot by a dominant decision. He's not that dangerous, and he's more of a more of a wrestler than a submission artist. Maybe he's made changes after the Charles Oliveira fight, and maybe he's more dangerous in terms of submissions and ground and pound, but I'm not going to assume that, so I'm just going to go with a dominant decision for Mateusz Gamrot. Next fight on the card, Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. I've got Nate Landwehr by a brutal second round KO. Why? Because Cub Swanson is fucking old. He's 41 and he hasn't fought since 2024, and Nate Landwehr is a big featherweight even though he's shit. Next fight on the card, Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. I'm going to go with Patricio Pitbull by a round 3 TKO. These guys are both not short for the division, but shorter, quite powerful guys. Pico's very dangerous early on. I feel like he's going to do the same thing he did against Lerone Murphy. I think because Murphy's not tall, but taller for the featherweight division, I think he got a little bit uncomfortable when Pico got close to him, and he had to pull out a crazy move to deal with the pressure. Pitbull's shorter, so I think when he's getting pressured like that kind of range won't be as bad for him to deal with. And I think he's going to survive. Yeah, I think Pico might blow his load early. Pause. I think he might go crazy as he did. I don't know, something tells me that he's not going to change his strategy. He's too far into his career to do that. And then, yeah, I think Pitbull's decently dangerous. He's going to start moving forward. Pico's going to start moving backward. And then I think it'll be one where Pico gets hurt a couple of times, recovers a few times, but it's coming, and then eventually he gets a good combination and finishes Aaron Pico late round 2, maybe round 3. Next fight on the card, Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa, moving up to light heavyweight. I'm going to go with Azamat Murzakanov by a 30-27 decision. Now, usually when someone moves up a weight class, they have a technical and a speed advantage over the other people in the new division. But in this case, I don't think that's really true. Azamat is not a tall or long light heavyweight. He should probably be a middleweight, unless he's just someone that doesn't look that lean. I'm not sure. So he's a lot faster than all of his light heavyweight colleagues. Paulo Costa is a very big middleweight. He's a muscular boy, a handsome boy. And when he moves up, I think he'll probably be a naturally bigger guy than Azamat Murzakanov is, to be honest. Azamat has a lot of power, and he's very fast on his feet. He almost moves like a kind of light heavyweight MMA bevel. He moves in and out a lot of is that lateral movement? Yeah, lateral movement, not horizontal movement. Yeah, I don't know how Paulo Costa could win this. I feel like Azamat's, I don't think he's going to finish him, as I've said in my prediction. And also, light heavyweight, Paulo Costa should have a pretty good chin, because he already has a pretty decent chin. He's only really been finished by some very, very good counters. But technically, yeah, I mean, he looks okay. Like, he got that nice spinning back kick against Robert Whittaker, but he lost to Marvin Vettori, man. Like, that's bad. And also, Azamat Murzakanov has momentum, and he's hungry, and he's never even got close to getting gold. So, he's undefeated. He's hungry. I think he's going to beat Paulo Costa. Next fight on the card, another light heavyweight bout. Dominick Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Hospital speed run. Who's going to win? I think Johnny Walker's going to go to the hospital first. We got the two chinniest fighters in any division, I'm pretty sure. I can't think of anyone more chinny than these guys. Dominick Reyes is at least good, though. He just has a terrible chin. He's got good boxing. He's got good boxing fundamentals. And it doesn't matter, like, how long ago it was. Dominick Reyes is, I mean, he's not even that old. How old is he? He's 36, which is not that old for a light heavyweight. Anyone that can have that kind of fight with John Jones, I can't in good faith put them against Johnny Walker and say they're going to lose. This fight, in my opinion, is basically just whoever lands the first, like, really big, significant strike, like a proper hook, a proper cross, or maybe even like a jab as a counter where they, you know, the momentum's going the wrong way and they walk right into it. It's over after that. These guys are so chinny. This fight will be funny. I like Dominick Reyes. I like both of these guys. Yeah. This fight is... I'm getting the popcorn out for this one rounder. Next fight in the card, Curtis Blaydes versus Josh Hokit. I'm going to go with a newcomer on this one. I'm going to go with Josh Hokit. He's only 28. He's got two KOs in the UFC first round. 6 first round finishes on his MMA record. 8. I think all of his wins are KOs. Yeah, all of them. And 3 submissions, so versatile. I haven't watched either of these guys' fights. I have no idea what he's like. This is a vibes pick, guys. I'm not going to research this guy. Curtis has been doing all right at batting away the newcomers. He's not too bad at that. And he's only really lost to some pretty good guys who are all hard hitters. He's lost to Ngannou twice, both by KO. He got KO'd by Derek Lewis, unfortunate. He got KO'd by Aspinall. And then he's got one other loss. Pavlovich, who also KO'd him. But these are all very good guys. But he's really fucking slow, man. He's really, really fucking slow. And I'm kind of, when I watch Curtis Blaydes, I'm kind of waiting for the time where I'm like, this is what I expected to happen on the other fights, but didn't. And maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding, because I don't think his wrestling is really that impressive either, to be honest. He kind of got taken down at will against Jason Almeida, even though Jason Almeida eventually got TKO'd by him with elbows when he shot a takedown. But realistically, if Curtis Blaydes' X factor is something that he's getting like humiliated on by like a smaller guy, I don't think that's very good, man. I don't think that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh Hokit by. I'm gonna go by decision. Am I gonna go by decision? Yeah, now on to the co-main event, our first title fight, Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. I'm going to go with Tatsuro Taira by a round 4 submission or ground and pound TKO. Both of these guys are kind of specialists. Van's kind of X factor is his boxing, and Taira is very, very good on the ground. I basically think that Taira's X factor is more important in this fight than Van's. I don't think Taira is bad on the feet, and he's also tall and rangy. That probably won't be a problem for Van, considering how he did against Royval, and also Royval beat Taira. But obviously, when Taira fought Royval, 1, it was still very close, and 2, his main area that he's good, the jiu-jitsu, is also somewhere where Royval is pretty good. And also he's wiry and lanky like Taira, so there was a bit of a ditto game going on. So it's understandable that he didn't get a finish. Of these guys' all their careers and their fights, the most impressive one, in my opinion, is Taira's finish over Brandon Moreno. Moreno's a little bit past his prime, but not that much. And Moreno's pretty good on the ground. He's not bad. I think did he submit Davison Figueiredo? I think he did. I'll check that while I keep talking. I'm not going to be able to keep talking because I can't focus. Pressing buttons is too complicated. Moreno. I believe he submitted Figueiredo, who I think is a good grappler. He's got TKO Dr. Stotovich. Yeah, he submitted him. I mean, again, this is one of a million fights they had, but like, still worth considering. get back on there. Yeah, so basically, I think that his kind of area that he's good is more significant than Van's area that he's good. Van's a fantastic boxer, but he's not really dangerous. So it's not like, the fact that Taira's worse is going to put him in terrible danger. Van's grappling, his takedown defense has been tested a few times and looks good. Defensive jiu-jitsu, I need more evidence. I need more proof. Maybe it's good. But I don't think that the Tatsuro Taira's win over Brandon Moreno bodes well if he does get a good takedown. And I think if he gets the back, that could be like super, super bad for Van. Another thing I'd like to say, fucking Taira is fucking massive at flyweight. The last time he came out in when he fought Moreno, I thought, what the fuck? This guy looks fucking huge. Like, I guess it's because he's, fairly young and he's kind of still growing into his frame a little bit. He's not that young. He's not like 22. But when I saw him against Brandon Moreno, I thought, oh my goodness, he looks fucking enormous. Like his back, I was like, Jesus, how is that a flyweight? And he's tall. So yeah. I think first round will be slow. Van is going to, be calculating his range, boxing combinations. I think Taira is also going to take his time. I don't think he's going to shoot a crazy takedown. I don't know why I feel that way. I just do. And then I think Joshua will start to get more confident with his hands, and Taira's will be like, okay, time to use my ability now. He's going to shoot a takedown. I don't think he's going to take him down at will. But I think some sort of exchange he'll get the better of, and I think he might end up wrapping up a submission when it starts to get into a bit of a war and they get a bit more tired. It's a bit of a question mark around Joshua Van's submission defense. Like, maybe it's good, but again, I'm not going to bet on it, especially when I've seen Taira demonstrate very, very good ground and pound, very, very good control against someone who's at the top of the division, who has what I would consider better jiu-jitsu than Van, who, primarily sticks to boxing and defending takedowns so he can keep boxing. Bloody hell, run out of breath there. And finally, onto the main event, Jiří Procházka versus Carlos Ulberg for the newly vacant light heavyweight belt. I'm going to go with Jiří Procházka by a round 4 TKO, viciously fucking up Carlos Ulberg. Beautiful face. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to see him fuck someone up again. Okay, I'm calming down. Ulberg's quite elusive. And in a lot of Jiří's fights, he's getting hit quite a lot. And then eventually he catches up to them and starts to beat them in a kind of Tony Ferguson-esque war of attrition, except he also has unbelievable power. I think if this was a 3-rounder, Carlos Ulberg could basically do what's his face? What's his name? The Freemason. What's his name? The Freemason. Khalil Roundtree. What Khalil Roundtree nearly did, where he won the first 2 and then eventually Jiří caught up to him. Ulberg's elusive, so I think he'll be able to avoid Jiří for longer and bob and weave, jab, boring fight, pitter-pat. But in a 5-rounder, I don't think that's going to happen forever. And I don't think that the cumulative damage that Carlos Ulberg gets on Jiří is going to be that relevant just because of his, his character. So I'm predicting, I think 2 10-9s for Carlos Ulberg. 3rd round might be the turning point. And if Carlos Ulberg wins this fight, it will be clear in round 3. Not just because, obviously, if he wins 3, then Jiří has to get a finish. But if he's still like teeing off on Jiří and Jiří cannot get close at all, and he's just, striking at air and getting hit like a chump, then I think it's probably over then. If round 3 is still going really bad for Jiří, I'm not confident for him. But if Ulberg is starting to look like he's struggling to keep the distance as well, he's not getting all these nice little pretty counters, then I'm super worried for him. I'm not worried for him because I want him to fucking lose. But even if I didn't, you know, you get where I'm coming from. So I'm saying round 4, probably. I think is basically this is gonna be Khalil Rountree versus Jiří extended edition, where the other fighter that Jiří's fighting escapes for a little bit longer, but then Jiří finally gets his claws into them and beats the living shit out of them. I don't actually mind Carlos Ulberg, by the way. I'm only playing, but I do like Jiří. So yeah, I think he's gonna get to that round 4. Those deep waters, which Ulberg has probably never been in. He's only got 1 loss, which was his UFC debut. And that's 1 loss ever, like MMA, not just UFC, just MMA record as a whole. So, yeah, I think he's gonna start to lose that movement. Not from cumulative damage, not to his legs, but I think he's just going to get hit in the face, and it's going to make him miserable and kind of scared. And Jiří will get close to him, start Muay Thai clinching, elbows, knees, weird kicks that he's not expecting. And then he'll get a brutal finish, body head against the cage some point in round 4, and Jiří will scream and everyone will celebrate because we love Jiří. Before I go, here's a crazy coincidence. Patricio Pitbull has 12 wins by knockout, 12 wins by submission, and 12 first-round finishes on his MMA record. He also debuted into the UFC on the 12th of April, 2025, exactly 1 calendar year before the up-and-coming event.